Go live. 2K plus rapid tourney grind, episode 1. Let's jump in. In the early rapid arena. Okay, we got a game. F4. My options seem to be along the lines of E5 and E5, D5, C5. They're all viable options. I'm gonna go with D5. Most familiar with it. So I could take the center with C5, followed by knight C6, bishop F4, bishop F5. Pardon. You could also choose to develop with knight F6. I think I'll make another pawn move and take the center. So he breaks. Sensible. I could defend it via e6, but that blocks in my light squared bishop, which I don't want to do. I think I'll defend it with a knight. Get developed. My opponent obviously wants to prep e4, which is not a bad notion. But one significant problem I can see with that is that after he plays e4, this will be a significant weakness which I can pile on. Similar to how the d6 pawn becomes a weakness when black plays the Sicilian. This is a move that comes to mind. So does this. I'll allow him to gain a tempo. I don't mind this at all. A couple of options here. This move probably prompts this. I'm not that keen to give him more space. On the other hand, if he does push, I can simply return and then place my bishop on this very nice f5 square. That might be actually good. Provoking this move. Doesn't bite. Next idea should be to develop my bishop somewhere along this line, but I could also choose to develop this one. For doing anything else, I think that's a more practical approach. Because my bishop could go to g4, could go to f5 also if he pushes prematurely. So pressure here, let's defend. This seems to be a slightly annoying move from my opponent. Bishop sit. I have to retreat to a passive square, and that just gives me more license to pile up on d3. That is highly unexpected. Now all that needs to be done is to ensure that this move is not viable at any point in time. Right now it is 1, 2, 3, 4. It is viable. So I'm going to try to shut it down. If he pushes the knight, I'm going to go here. It's an ugly square, yes, but I think it's more important that I restrict my opponent from playing d4. On the other hand, I had given my opponent free license to steamroll the pawns on the king side. Now seems like a really good opportunity to break. This is not a threat. I like this a lot. It does give up this hole, but then I get more space. I should also probably think of castling in the near future. I said it was not a move. Is it true? I think it is. Pawn's just falling. I could recapture with either the bishop or the knight. Recapturing with the knight looks more logical, since bishops normally have more opportunities. This, I think I might end up castling kingside, even though my pawn structures is slightly compromised. f4 is a very tempting option. I might have to worry about knight d5 if I do that. Taking seems horrendous though. d3 becomes a pawn on e4, and all his weaknesses are suddenly disappeared. I could wait for him to take. That looks like the best move, or the best strategy. I think I will. I'm just going to castle. Or should I hope for some sort of attack on the king side? Castle queen side and hope for some attack on the king side. I think the first question I need to decide is, where do I put my light squared bishop? I think I'll place it on this diagonal now, because I'm not that sure that he is going to take. He might not take at all. I think I'm actually going to hold off for one moment on the placement of the bishop, because if I move this bishop too quickly, then he might not take at all, and eventually I might have to play something like f4, and then my bishop is just staring at this wall of pawns. This is a significant hole in my position, granted. Still not allowing this move. I think it's important to restrict my opponent from playing that. If my opponent does nothing, my plan is simple. King h8, bishop f6, rook g8, and then certain stuff. Okay. Moving the queen seems the most logical thing to do. Then again, knight g5 is a plausible move. This knight is going to become very powerful on the square, I can tell. I think I have a plan. I'm going to play queen e8, and eventually once this knight does land here, and it will, I will have the luxury of playing bishop e6 and take it out if I want to. If this knight jumps in here as well, then it doesn't disturb my plans too much. I still have control over my position. This knight is a problem though. If he doesn't take, then it is practically stranded. But if he does go in for knight g5, then I do have the option of playing f6, kicking the knight, then moving my knight to f7, d6 escapes. I'm not too worried about this. Let's just move my queen out of danger for now. Not afraid of this, not an issue. What is an issue is my undeveloped rook on e8 and this bishop. My opponent is doing very well holding off taking on f5, because in order to keep my options open, I have to make certain sacrifices. Okay, so this is the threat. Could move the rook. I don't see a direct way of covering the square. Guess I do have to move the rook. Knight f6 is a good move though, to play in that position. So should I give it the exchange? It's tempting, seeing as my rook is literally doing nothing and this is his best piece. I think I might actually just give up the exchange voluntarily. Yeah, you know what, I'm gonna do that. I'm just gonna play here. But after knight c7, where does my queen go? I would like to swing it over to g6 somehow, but that doesn't really work in the situation. Okay, I think I'm going to play this. I don't especially want my rook. I think this knight is far more valuable than it at this stage. So knight c7, I'm going to play queen d7 and give up the rook. I don't mind. There are also some ideas of pushing f4 and then grabbing on h3. Pawn takes, queen takes. It's somewhat of an attack, but nothing immediately. For that, I'll need to position my rook on the g file as well. So I am lacking time, that is true. He jumps in, which is wise. Not giving me time to carry out my actions. I don't see what that move does, to be honest. I'm just gonna... I don't see any immediate threats. Just gonna get my rook on the file. Eventually I'm gonna play something like this, in which case he can't trade queens because I will grab this with check. And then again I grab with check, he would go king f2, I take the queen, he takes the knight. Yeah, the tactic doesn't even win anything for me, unfortunately. However, I could first choose to play queen f8, queen c8, then jump my knight in, because my knight here would be as good as a piece as his knight was here previously. Yeah, I feel like I want to break the pin while keeping an eye on h7. I'm looking to get this in as soon as possible. He might not allow it, he might go back bishop f2, in which case my bishop is free to move, which I would like. Also, f4 is a clear plan for me. He moves it back, sensible. I could jump in. No, I probably want to unleash my rook along this file first before I do anything else. This is a viable option. This is a very tempting option right now. Yeah, I don't see any point in delaying it now. I'm getting it with tempo, it's essentially free. f2 is probably the right square. Now, how do I proceed? I think my knight needs to start doing something else very soon. seems viable. Okay, hitting the weak point. But I'm also covering the weak point if I play knight g5. On the other hand, if this move comes in, then it doesn't help me much. Okay, I think I'm gonna play here. Step back into the pin, but defending e6 is critical. Next move I'll be able to play this. Then some sort of f3 ideas are in the air. I don't need to watch my time though. Good push. Yeah, pushing seems good actually. There's no immediate threat here, I don't think. I do have some sort of threats with taking here first and then threatening discovered attacks with my knight. I need to watch my time though. It's a pretty bad situation there. If he does take, I'm not sure which pawn I want to take. I might just take the h pawn because I get f4. Okay, let's take here. I probably give a lot more thought to it normally. Oh, just drop a piece. I just dropped a piece. Oops. I do have this move, but I think I'll. Oh, I dropped the queen. Ah. Yeah. Stuff happens. The time is taking. I might just analyze this. Okay. Wow. He's not even grabbing the queen. This is mate. It's got to be some sort of mate, I'm sure. But this is. It's very suspicious now, the way he's playing. Because if a player saw that the queen is hanging, he would have taken it for sure. I don't think anybody would play it. Bishop e5. I'm gonna have to check this guy's playing later on. His moves. Very suspicious. Even now, this is probably the only. Yeah, exactly. It takes time to see the mate. I'm gonna. This is slightly suspicious. Slightly. Okay, probably not. Okay, let's let that cook. And jump in. That was slightly disturbing. I like this variation because it gives me some sort of control over the center. This is a hole. That doesn't seem like a good move. I feel like I want to take advantage of this. Not sure exactly how I can. This is a plausible idea, but b3 seems to shut down everything. This seems good, but c4 is eventually going to kick my knight. This seems very good. I might prefer that. Yeah. Yeah, because I need to deal with this pressure. Maybe not. I don't have to deal with it immediately. Yeah, so just retreats. But in this case, I think I can take. Let's not take. This is fine, and there's no discard attack here. h3 I'm very fine with. There's just more weaknesses. Dark squared weaknesses. This definitely comes to mind because of these holes. This is another move that comes to mind, just get developed. Could also take first, but that doesn't give me much. My issue is that if I play my knight here, then I might have to trade when I don't necessarily want to do that. I could play a weird move of my own, targeting this pawn. How exactly is defending it? Something like this. This doesn't seem that good. Yeah, I think this is my plan. I'm just gonna play here. This I'm absolutely fine with that. Gets my bishop around these big holes, and now this is definitely a star move. I could also play this. You'll have to play recapture with the knight or something. Oh, this is also a good move, hitting both these points. Yeah, forcing the bishop to go back, and then I have more license to capture here, because this pawn is also under fire. Not a good move. I'm also eyeing some queen h4 check stuff, if the knight is ever removed from his post. So the retreat happens. I do like this. If pawn takes and this pawn is hanging, if knight takes, then I get this check. Yeah, so the question is, do I play this or do I play knight takes? I think I actually prefer knight takes. Yeah. Bishop takes, and I don't really want to trade the bishop, so I prefer knight takes. Right. Right. Now the question is whether it's worthwhile to sacrifice. Play stuff like this. That would be mate, but the problem is after knight takes here, he has his intermezzo. Then after bishop takes, he can take with the queen, so that doesn't really win me anything. It's unfortunate. If only this knight wasn't there. But okay, just wishful thinking. I think I'm gonna try and stop this knight from jumping in at any point of time. My knight is in a very good position. Okay, so he's trying to cut off the communication between my bishop and knight. I should just retreat and keep it as it is. c7 or b8, I'm not too sure. I think I like c7. This was a move, but I'm just gonna ignore it. My points are well defended. Play d5, solve d5. Okay, that can't be good. I don't think. This pawn is now weak. Probably go here and return. Could also go to g6. I don't like that too much. Stay active. Bishop does control this important square. So now I'm threatening stuff like f5 and then, yeah, right now actually f5 and then grabbing this pawn. But yeah, at that point he will have to move his king, so he can't even like cancel. Play this. I'm making my king sort of vulnerable, but his king is also going to be pretty vulnerable after this, because once I take on g3, he can't castle queenside, because he'll have to block with some other piece if he wants to do that, and his knight won't be there to interpose anymore after it moves. So I'm expecting, yeah, something like this. And now when I take, his king essentially has to move, so no castling for him, and I'm in a better situation because it's only the pawns that are compromised, not my king itself. So yeah, this seems like a pretty good move, getting the knight out of my position. Go for it. I don't see any checks, no threats. I do have dark squared weaknesses, but I do also have my dark squared bishop, so not too worried about that. Streets. Not entirely sure which side I want to castle here. What I do know is that I want more firepower on this dark square diagonal. You might try castling by hand. Something like this. But I think I have some time to muster up some sort of an attack in that case. He musters an attack against my king side. Reasonable. I don't need to move my bishop right now. I can also just firmly plug it in there. I think I might do that. I have plenty of support along the diagonal. Yeah, it's pretty solid bishop there. Also gives me options of playing this. How can I improve my light squared bishop? If the knight ever comes to f3, I might experience some problems. Oh, you know what, actually, I think my bishop belongs on b7. I'm going to reroute my knight to f6 and then place it on e4. That looks absolutely crushing, especially with this weakness now. Probably planning to play something like this. Yeah, I think that's where my bishop belongs. I don't want to play this. I was first thinking of playing a5 and then bishop a6. But if a knight ever landed on a3, then this would become a huge hole I want to avoid. So right now I have an option of just causing an inconvenience. It doesn't achieve anything, but it just does keep the king on the back rank. So if I don't stop him now, then this is gonna be an issue. So I think I'm just gonna play this now. It's just a small inconvenience. No threats here. But I think it's important to stop my opponent from developing easily. Right. So this is probably the best I can get with that. I could try a trick and play this. That would be mate. Problem is, if my opponent doesn't fall for that, I'm left with an uncastled king, which is worse. Okay, it's a retreat. Yeah, I think I'm one move too late with my disturbing, what do you say, dislocating plans. Yeah, he can just go back. Draw is fine with him, of course. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna have to get castled and apply some pressure naturally. So I'm up 2 pawns, but white clearly has more space and a better pawn structure on the side where we're both playing. This, on the other hand, does seem to be a blunder. Gives up the exchange. I think I should take it. I also need to get rid of my pieces along the diagonal so that my bishop can finally see. Okay, let's grab the exchange, or yeah, I don't see anything better. Okay. Discovered attack. That knight is susceptible to a discovered attack. This is a viable option, but no reason to destroy my pawn structure. I also need to look at my time. I think this is probably my best course of action. Should probably play king a7 at some point to safeguard my a6 pawn. Threatening this makes sense. I think I'm just going to move a rook to that file and I should not have any problems. My plan is just to get my other knight here as well. My opponent does have the bishop pair, but so do I, so not too worried. Oh, that is true. It did cut off the communication between my queen and bishop. Might get a pawn back. It's possible. Okay. I feel like taking is just giving me a big advantage here. I don't because no, but then this sort of move, if I take, then queen of 3 is not easy to meet. This knight is very annoying, to be honest. I just take it out. Yeah, I think it needs to go. I don't mind this, but the knight can't stay. Controlling too many squares in my position. I'm having to worry about too many tactics. Okay, so it retreats. Now I think is the time to play this. I would really like to spend a lot of time on these positions, but time is something which we don't have, fortunately. Yeah, I think my position is just better. There's no 95, thankfully. Not thankfully, because of my pawn. This pawn is hanging, that's true. No, I can't do that. I think I'll take this first, then plug the leak. Yeah, this knight is really good. I don't mind losing this pawn because I do get some activity. Oh, let's check. Oh, that's annoying. Didn't notice that. Yeah, that's a problem. I don't want to lose both pawns, so I'm just gonna block. I need to watch my time here. That's the only reason I'm playing fast. Otherwise, there was definitely a clear win. That is true. That is true. I'm gonna take just for simplification. Try and exchange until I can win the endgame. Get my king on a dark square so that it's not the same color as my rook. Yeah, just gonna trade. Stop the pawn. Big game. The only issue is time. No, I think 25 seconds is enough. I'm not gonna take the draw. Just need to make sure that I can remove as much as possible. cut the king off as much as possible. I'll play e4, no? Okay. Gives me 2 extra moves. Okay. That's not stalemate. Not stalemate either. Neither is this. Play here. Yeah, I need to be careful here. Play here. Yeah, his pawn is actually a liability here because it gives him too many moves. It's mate. Okay, that was fairly close, but I think I could have got that, so. Okay, I think this is the first white we've had. Let's go e4. d4 seems like a good move. This does block his d pawn from moving, so actually I'm going to just play here. There's no threat of this. And I think that's actually some trouble if he does. Yeah, so he knows this. Maybe he's faced this from other people. I'm just going to castle. I just want to have a free reign to do whatever I want with my pieces. So having my king safe was definitely a factor for that. Let's break it up. Smash everything open. Because my opponent can't play a move like this now, because this threat must be responded to. Same way. Can't play this, because I have intermezzos. And now I am threatening something fairly bad. Yeah, so I don't think this works because I can play here, threaten the rook and mate as well. Okay, so that's mate. Convenient. Okay, let's go a4 again. So I usually don't like to take because that gives the player playing black exactly what they want. I usually respond with knight c3 or sometimes d4 if I'm feeling a bit gambity. Let's continue with knight c3. I think it's fairly solid. This does give me some sort of space advantage on the king side. All my pieces get routed to the king side. Eventually I get to play like f4 after sort of a reverse London like setup. I do get to play f4 and reign terror along the f file. Just can't argue with that. Sounds pretty good. The only issue is that black gets some space on the queen side in return. Also, my opponent has experienced some connection issues. I should get my bishop out before I do anything else because if at any point I wish to play d3, I would much rather that my bishop was outside the pawn chain. So I don't need to defend this immediately, but d3 is in any case a move that's going to be played, so might as well play it now. It also opens up my bishop size. I could also consider just, yeah, I think I'm going to play this because now this needs to be responded to. Can castle next, or I might even, yeah, I think I'm more likely to castle queenside here. Okay, so this is hanging, but so is my queen, so let's, I think now by forcing the trade of these two pieces, my knight gets free reign to jump into f5, and I think that gives me a lot of initiative on the king side. This must be taken, otherwise the pawn falls. Maintaining the pin is not possible because, of course, my knight is covering that square. Forced. Knight f5 is an amazing square for my knight. I think I would actually like to castle queenside, just so that I can just steamroll my G and H pawns. So now this becomes even more lucrative. Let's play d3 first. I might also want to wait for him to castle. That's another thing. So my bishop, of course, doesn't have any business being on d2. There's no work on any other square. That's the main problem. That seems terribly weakening. This seems like the perfect opportunity. Threatening the pawn. If he wants to play this, then he's never castling. Conveniently, if he drops the pawn, well, that also works for me. This doesn't work, unfortunately. What does this? Does actually, no, it doesn't. I mean, he can't take because I have mate, but the issue is that he doesn't have to take, and I don't really gain anything by this, so I think jumping back here is probably the best thing I can do. It's not really threatening anything here. Let's go back, and I have enough defense on c4. Yep, I've got enough defense. So I just need to survive this. I'm definitely going to have to castle. Well, it's not even clear where I castle at this point, because there is this open file, but as long as the king stays there, I don't have to worry too much about this. In here he's just trying to trap my bishop, which is understandable, but has nothing to do with what's going on near his king. Something I could try to do is something I could take right now is this. The issue is that if he takes the bishop, which might actually be a good move, and traps my bishop, that might be a problem. Then again, that's also not a problem. My bishop does have an escape route. I think I'm actually gonna take out a move and give myself this free post. Might not even have to castle with the way he's playing because he has no threats. Just imaginary threats against my bishop, easily denied. This is coming, or this. This is not even a threat. Don't even have to respond to it. I could also play this and just completely say that your last few moves were an absolute waste. I could also play this, give a check. I could take with the knight as well. Taking with the knight actually seems more interesting, because after takes here, I'm not exactly sure what I've accomplished, but if I do take with the knight, then I at least have some pressure on f7, which is not easily defended. But the more I look at it, the more I like bishop c4. Steps outside the pawn chain. My only issue is that with a move like knight a5, might have to actually resort to running around the board because I can't return to a2 at that point. This would actually force my bishop to retreat and stare at this pawn for the rest of its life, which is not fun. Probably permanently, because at that point there wouldn't even be this maneuver. The pawn would be killer on b3, so I should never allow this sort of thing. I would have to give up the bishop, which I really don't want to do because it gives me quite a lot of pressure on black's position. In fact, if the knight moves right now, it's mate. It's been like that for a while. Maybe he's considering taking. It's possible. This will probably be the last game of the tournament. I think there's a small break before the next one starts, so yep, so he gives it up. Sensible. But now I have the bishops. Yeah, he should probably step here. Anything else would probably be bad. I could restrict him from running away. He can't really run away though, because this is also hanging. So now how do I proceed? This is clearly a one position, but the hardest thing to win is a one position. Yeah, I should get my king safe. And I think so. His king is obviously going to go to the queen side. So I think I might actually want to castle kingside. Yeah, I think castling kingside makes a lot of sense, because even though the files are open, I think I should have a great more initiative against his king than he gets against mine, for the simple reason that I have more pieces and that I can open stuff up anytime I want. In his case, he has no pawns to break away my defense. I could just simply put my pawns on protected squares, move my king to h2 and get out of any g-file stuff. Black's position is amazingly solid for the lack of material though. I guess it's because the minor pieces efficiently cover up things in the middle game. If it got to an end game, it'll be hopeless. But in the middle game, there is still quite a lot to be decided. Okay. I think, yeah, this is probably the idea of what he's threatening. Sensible, but now I should look to open things up on the queen side as well, so it does make some sort of sense to take. But if I do take, then knight takes, and this pawn is certainly under fire. So I think the right thing is to just move this bishop here, allow some stuff like this, maybe. I don't mind that so much now. Then grab on b4 and then a4 as a target. Need to get my bishop out of the chain. This I'm very happy to see, because my pawn gets a free run. My opponent has been having connection issues for most of the game. As I said, this is not worrying at all, because I can take once, and second time he has to take with the pawn, because my bishop is also covering the square. This pawn is now a liability, his rook is now trapped, now has a responsibility, and now I have the option of pushing. Do I want to push immediately is the question, because if I do push to a4, then knight b4 is something to worry about. I should have some good initiative against his king. I'm not sure why I'm not simply looking at that. I think I'll reserve pushing the a pawn for further in the game, and I'm just going to try and open up this position as best as I can. This seems like a good move actually, because this knight is pinned to the pawn and there's no pieces that can immediately dislodge my queen. And if he offers a queen trade, I'm only too happy to accept, seeing as I'm winning in the endgame. So let's go. My plan is obviously just to crack it open. The position is completely closed on the queen side, and on the king side he has no threats, so I could just play f4. The trade benefits me enormously. I get pressured along the f file. I can choose to push the e pawn. A lot of threats. This does not help at all. I'm not even sure what he's trying to accomplish with that move. This just gives me a lot of play. The f file is now going to be torn open regardless of what he does. As I said, this rook is tethered to the pawn, so I don't need to worry about this rook ever jumping into the action here. The tournament's over. I did late join. I also lost my first match to, I think, a 1900 guy. I was playing very, very suspicious moves. In fact, let's just see that game. How did that go? Yeah, this was very suspicious. He left the queen, and then queen is hanging, and then he just grabbed this. Okay, what's going on? He took. I'm pretty sure that bishop takes is just absolutely crushing. Nothing to think about. Rook's hanging. Yeah, so I expected this move. I could even take here directly because my queen is defended. But I do see that if I take like this, knight takes and then take here, then I do also get the f7 pawn. So this is just another way to just clear all my pieces off the f file so that my rook has some pressure here. Of course, king takes is also available, but usually any move wins. This pawn falls regardless, f7. It looks like he's holding on now because knight takes. But yeah, I mean, I could take this right now. I'm just gonna grab the exchange first. I could also push at this point. I'm gonna grab this pawn first, then push. Take on f7, then push to e6. And shouldn't be an issue winning this at all. I have way too much material. Okay, looking for some counterplay. I think I'm just gonna take with the rook. Get my rooks into play. Take control of the file. Okay, that doesn't do much. Actually, this might not be a bad move because the pawn's pinned. Sorry, the bishop's pinned. Should be an easier way to do this though. What I really want is to play this. Let's just gain a tempo on the knight. This is not an issue at all, I don't think. The knight just gets trapped. Or maybe not. Yeah, this is available because I moved my rook off. But yeah, I could knight here, I could go here. Probably this is better since his bishop is on a dark square. Yeah, Okay, some sort of perpetual idea, maybe, not sure. In any case, this is I'm making it way more complicated than it has to be. Just gain a tempo on this, pin it, and just simplify. There's no point spending any time on this. No point at all. Yeah, so now we can just get this. It goes here, I have this. If it goes here, then yeah, I mean, anything wins. Okay, that is interesting. That is interesting, but I think I have this intermezzo which distracts the knight. Of course, this is possible, but at that point I would just take here and get 2 pieces for the rook. That's more than enough. Actually winning exchange for me. Goes to that, don't mind at all. I'm up a rook and a lot of pawns, so nothing to worry about. Oops. He's also done on time. Yeah, okay, cool. So I think, yeah, this one is pretty much over. Yeah, I late joined. I only joined the last like half an hour or something. I think there's another one. There should be another one that's coming. Maybe it's already started. Yeah, it's already started. Gonna join in a bit. About give me a couple of minutes. I'll be right back. Okay, let's jump back in. Second rapid arena. We're a little early for this one. By that I mean we're not joining in the last half an hour. Okay, first game. Black again. Opponent berserks, which I'm not gonna reply because trying to get in good moves, not win the tournament. It's not the aim at all. Okay, so knight 6 is a plausible move. Knight c6. So is e6. Let's go with knight c6. This is stopped, which is very good for me. I think I'm gonna go ahead with the dragon-like setup. Okay, that's slightly unconventional. I think if he pushes again, I'll stop him right here. Now I can play this without fear of blocking in my bishop. That's why I played bishop b7. I could also play stuff like this. It does seem fairly useful. The point is I don't want to get my knight kicked around by this. Could defend, go here. Well, you know what? Maybe it's not that easy for him to play that. I'm going to play this next move. Yeah, now I think this is an issue. But not really. I could still play. So I'm just going to castle. Yeah. So now he goes for this. I think I can manage to sort of get the pawn. I'm not sure. Not too sure. Yeah. So I think I am getting the pawn. That's why he just gave it up. So should I take the e file? Should I take get the open d file, or should I get the f file? I think I'm actually going to take the f file. Yeah, it's very comfortable position. Now I can play d5. Yeah, this is very comfortable for me. I'm just gonna expand. This is a hole, I understand, but no danger of losing anything immediately. I think I would like one knight off. I would also like to push this a couple times. This is also hanging. That's a problem. But I do think this move, if I could just take out this bishop. Let's think for a bit. How do I undouble my pawns? Because I already have an asset in the form of the open f file. I'm already doing well in that aspect. Question is, how do I undouble my pawns and not make them be a weakness? I think the first step towards that is getting my queen off the back rank. And I would like to do that by playing here. Unfortunately, this move is slightly disruptive. I don't want to allow that. Kicks my knight, makes sense. This also makes sense. So does this. I think I prefer a knight to be on f6. Yeah, so I mean, it's not really any real threat to take on e6, so I'm just gonna play here. And I can look to play stuff like this. Yeah, for example, now could play this. This is well defended. It just looks like I get a lot of free play here. Out of 4. I do also have this available when I do want it. Again, all this pressure is not because my bishop is doing an excellent job just defending it. I could play this thing. Okay, so I should probably take some time to think about this. Knight f4 seems good because it gets the bishop back. It also gets my queen to a good square. I don't know, this just seems like I'm getting more space on the king side, a free attack. This pawn is absolutely safe. I don't ever have to worry about it because this bishop is never getting access to that. My bishop does a solid job of negating both the queen and the rook. He's also reduces time by a bit, which is nice. So yeah, now the thing is, if I take, then this will be a blunder, so he's going to take with the pawn, of course. In which case I have no play. So I'm going to refuse the queen trade. I don't think it's good for me. I should also defend this pawn, so only one logical move. This is now a threat. Maybe it's not a threat. Yeah, it's not really a threat, I guess. Because at that point, this bishop would have access. So yeah, now the same problem again. How do I ensure that I get this pawn break in? Do I even need to ensure that? Another question. This is another attempt. Yeah, this might actually be successful in breaking this. Should take care of that. Interesting. I think I would like to remove this bishop. It's slightly annoying. Very annoying, actually. Still, what is intriguing is that how there's no clear plan here how I'm supposed to proceed. That is the case a lot of times in chess, but Seems that I should have something with the open f file. I just can't figure out what. Knight b4 seems good because I would really like to have the bishop. That would give me the bishop pair, and I would have a much easier time pushing e5. Yeah, so he doesn't want to give it up, which makes sense. Yeah, but now I think I can play stuff like this. Look to put some pressure here. Maybe moves like this, and flush the bishop back to a square where it can be taken. For example, right now, this looks like an absolutely amazing move. This I don't like that much because I don't really gain anything from it, but this looks absolutely good because I can take, knight takes, and then I grab this pawn. I think that's just winning by force. I don't see what this was intending to do. I think my opponent was slightly worried about me being able to play this. Okay, so that's the plan. So after this is the intended, or maybe this. But that doesn't work, does it? I think it does. I mean, I could just take here and then grab this pawn. That looks like the best thing to do. I could also just, yeah, I could also just get the free piece, I guess. Instead of a pawn, let's just take a free piece. Nothing wrong with that. Bishop strapped. Right, so now this knight has only one good outpost or good square it can go to. That would not work because I can take here. I think I can play this. Can I get this in? I think I'm getting it in. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Once I get e5 in, my position has no issues. Normally these are ugly, double pawns, double isolated pawns, but now it's not that bad because now it's just a single isolated pawn and getting quite a lot of play for it. So again, this is protected. Yeah, it's not protected now, but I do have this tempo. Hitting these 2 points. Oh, that's true. True. I mean, still, I'm still winning. I think I'll just play here. Yeah, I think I can play here, and on the case of this, I have this. I can take my time. I have 3 minutes. It's not life and death. It's never life and death, but not even gonna not even likely to flag here. Okay, let's play here. This I'm not worried about at all. Yeah, no, not an issue. Not an issue at all because I can just take the file. I think. Yeah, take the file. This is falling. This is falling. If he does an exchange, I get a fork. So now if he takes, I get these. This nice move. Okay, so yeah, he's just gonna do this, but trading only favors me. Up a piece. Up, yeah, just up a piece. Yeah. So it's true. It's true. No, I don't want to give it up. Don't have to give it up. Okay, so he steps off the diagonal, steps off the last rank. That's fine. Spawn is hanging. Is this an issue though? If I do take here, that is true. He does get the spawn. And if I take with the bishop though, he doesn't get anything. Not afraid of this. Just push. This also, I think, pushing is a good response. Yep, absolutely solid. It's completely won at this point. I think this fails to bishop d3 as well. Knight takes, I take the rook. Rook takes, I take the rook. Yep. Alright, cool. That was a clean game. Very clean. Okay, let's jump back. Jump back into the tournament. Okay, we are white again, which is nice. Berserks again. Okay, as I said, I'm just trying to play good chess here. Winning the tournament is not remotely in my goals. Just want to play some good chess and make some solid plans. Okay, so again, I've said before, I really like this move for black because it gives my bishop a lot of scope. He'll have to play some sort of hedgehog-like structure if he wants to defend it. So let's take advantage of that. It's castle. Right. If he's gonna play something like this, then maybe I should break here before there's already a bishop. I should probably break when there is no bishop. So it's probably best way to proceed because it's really hard to get it in once there is already some pressure along the diagonal. Okay, so he takes once and leaves it at that. Sensible. Take once here. Could also just support it. I think I'm more likely to just support it because if he does take, then that does just strengthen my center for no reason at all. Another reason I like c3 is because now I can play queen b3 and hit this tender point on f7. It's always tender, but especially so now that he's already pushed d6. Yeah, so this is what I meant. He has to go with this structure, and now his bishop is ridiculous on c8. So there's no immediate way to take advantage of it, of course. Or is there? How about this? It's the pawn. No obvious way to defend. Pushes, takes. Yeah, I think I have enough on that. So how is he defending this exactly? d6. Pushes, I just grab here. Doesn't work. He just disconnected. Back. Funny, two opponents in a row having disconnection issues. He goes for it. Not a bad option. But now the problem is that. Okay, that's one way to handle it. What I meant to say was just show it for a second before we jump back in. After this move, this comes, and black is in pretty bad shape here. Lack of development. The king is not safe. One thing to consider is after this is also a plausible move, but I am also on the knight. Not sure how I feel about that. This does invite some sort of game. I guess I'm still winning by a huge margin. Still, I don't like getting the queens off. Okay, let's resume. Get back to tournament. Okay. Black again. That's the second f4 I've seen today. Let's respond the same way we did. Actually, I think I lost that first match. Not sure. But yeah, I'm just going to take the center. Develop my pieces. More likely to play bishop f5 now, given that e4 is not an option. Yeah, so he blunts this diagonal very correctly, but this just seems like giving me way too much scope for improvement. Very tempting. This is also very tempting. Much as I would like to find one, there doesn't seem to be a knockout blow right now, unfortunately. This is threatened right now. That's an issue. Well, not right now because I can take it, but eventually. Okay, let's go for this. I'm looking to play stuff like this. Okay, so now I think the major plan for me would be to just try and attack the king. Something I could look to play is this at an opportune moment. Right now, this is just a very easy way to get out of it. But yeah, I want to get my bishop to this sort of active square. To put some pressure on the spawn here. Okay, this is now tender. It's quite tender actually, and there's no way to defend it. This would be the only way, and yeah, it's very annoying. There's no direct win. It's quite disturbing because clearly my position is superior. There are all these holes in the white camp, which I'm not able to take advantage of right now. Maybe I should try going for this. Open it up. Or should I play this first? I think this makes sense because even if he plays a move covering the square, I do have some sort of... So there's no concrete plan, it's just me prodding at my opponent's position. Hope chess. Then again he is gunning for this. And now it is actually defended. Attack twice, defended twice. So I think I need to get the queen back to where she was, which is here. I don't mind if he plays this in the future. I just need to stop e4 from happening right now. I think I also have some ideas of pushing here. Takes, and then this is weak. So almost if I push here, then this is coming immediately back, and simply no way to go about it. This is easily met with knight b3, the only flaw in an otherwise perfect plan. I feel like I need to play this c4. Explosive. To limit this as well. Also try for this, but then this is just an amazing outpost. I do not want to give that. I think should I prep it? Do I need to prep it? Can I just play? I think I need to get my rook out of the way of this diagonal first before I do anything else. Yeah, that's expected. I think I'm just gonna come here, and point is after play here, then this knight has to takes, and I have some pressure against c2. Right. So now again, for the same reason, he can't push e4, and he also has to defend this again. This is loses a pawn. Yeah, otherwise he has to play something like this, and now my position is really nice. This is very tempting. Then again, this is a standard response for that. Also puts pressure on my pawn here. I could just try and go caveman and try to get this pawn. I think I might end up doing that because there's no clear plan. How else I'm supposed to win material here? This is very tempting because there's this fork on e3, but he just plays knight b3, then the bishop covers and everything's fine. He gives up the pawn. Well, not really gives up the pawn, he tries to trade it for this. Can he do that? He takes here. I guess I could trade and win the knight, but not really defending it well. There's no rush in taking it also. There's no rush at all. I can take my time. The c3 is not coming anytime in the future, so I think oh, but then if I play bishop c5, then knight e5 becomes an issue. Not an issue, but annoying. Also the problem of this bishop eventually coming to life. You know what, let's go for it. I'm going to do this in exchange for this for the free file that I get. Also, I'm all on this pawn. That's something to note. I'm on the e2 pawn, so it's not trivial. So it takes. I have an option. I could pin it. It seems most likely to work. I think I'm actually going to do that. Spin, because I don't want this knight taking my bishop either. So that would ruin my structure, and I don't want that to happen. So I do have to respond to this because right now my piece is forked. I think I have to take once, then I can grab here, followed by this. I guess I can lose this pawn, but I think the center pawns are more important. Play here. It's falling next if he doesn't take care of it. Now I would like to castle. Maybe I should have castled a long time ago, but I was just trying to get some initiative here. So yeah, this is looks like a very good move. I'll play it, yeah. I can take this pawn, not afraid of that at all. I can even play b5 and one pawn restricts these two. Trying to get some back rank stuff to work. Just gonna castle. I don't mind if my pawn structure is wrecked by this, not an issue. Right, so he doesn't want it anyway. Now is the moment where I can play this and just consolidate everything. Or I could play here. Oh, this looks like pretty good actually. Yeah, this looks pretty good because if he has to give up this bishop, then he's in big trouble. Oh, I could actually play here. This looks even better. No, but the bishop's covering the diagonal. That's the issue. That's the issue. So yeah, I'm gonna jump in here because I'm not too worried about him infiltrating on this file. He gives it up. Yeah, that's how dangerous he sees it as. The knight, bishop, pawn, or rook. What do we take with? Let's take with the bishop. All sorts of juicy stuff here. Also, I can push. Cement my bishop there and just push. This I don't think works at all because I get this check. If he moves here, I have this discovery. And if he moves here, then I get this pawn. I think, yeah, he's got to go here. That's not even an option at this point. Do I have anything better than taking the pawn? I don't see it. Pawn itself is so important. Take this, maybe some tricks. I don't know. Yeah, so the thing is, if I play this, then This is the obvious reply. Do I have something with this check? King up? Not really. Oh, but this might be an actually amazing move. Move of the day. Yeah, because I'm on the rook. This gains me a tempo. While he's moving the rook, I have now blocked this communication. So now I could play this and grab the rook. I think this is a double blunder because first of all he's blundering the rook. Second of all, this bishop can no longer intercept, so this would actually net me the rook. Which rook do I want to take? I think I actually prefer this one. This is coming, there's no way to stop it. Just gonna trade the rooks next move and easy game after that. Again, he can't take this because... Okay, I guess he can take it now, but because he can interpose. Let's trade the rooks. And now I think this sort of thing is this is very tempting, but the problem is that he just has this block and... Oh, actually, yeah, I get a plan. I have a plan now. I just play this. He blocks. Then I have this. Oh, cuts off the king. This bishop is still pinned. This king can't move up. And next move, I can just play this and dislodge the king. Yeah, so he stops that momentarily. But now this is just mate in 2, I think. Yeah. Simple. Okay, cool. Yeah, let's jump back. Okay, let's go with e4. Yeah, white again. Oh yeah, please don't post messages like that. It's yeah, it's not a good thing. Please don't do that. KP snowball 32. Okay, knight f3. Let's proceed. Again, same thing. I seriously like this power the bishop has along the diagonal. Knight f6. Let's see. Knight c3, d3. Let's develop. Okay, I guess I did fall for this. Fine, I guess. Should have spent more time. Okay, fine. I think now is the time to play. No, sure. Maybe I should just gun for d4 directly. I kind of like the idea of just pushing forward directly. Just break up my pawn duo. No, he's gonna play this. Makes sense. Point is, if he ever pushes e5, then d6 becomes a weakness. It's castle. Get the king safe. So now there's this bishop is now extracting the knight. This comes to mind, but then this sort of move is always on the cards. Candidate moves. h3. He has to stop any piece from landing on g4. Knight takes e6. Rook e1. F4 seems too dangerous to play, with the queen easily accessing b6. Knight b3, that just blocks my development. I can no longer expand on the queen side with that move. Bishop f4 would be a good move if it didn't immediately fail to the fork on e5. King h1 is something to consider. I don't see any immediate threats, so I'm just gonna play h3 and safeguard my bishop from attack once it lands on e3. I think that's where the bishop belongs. I think bishop e3 is pretty natural. Only question is, should I play rook e1 first? I think I'll play rook e1 first. Coming up, bishop e3, bishop b3. Yeah, just get the pieces out. So maybe there's some sort of plans I could have in this place, in this position. Where do my knights belong? What do I want to do with my queenside structure? I don't ever want to play f4 in this position. Yeah, I think I just need to prevent this sort of stuff. Okay. Okay, I see the point, but okay, I guess he gets the bishop. Yeah, it's true. It's true. Fair enough. Alright, so this is hanging, but so is my rook. Seems to make the most sense is to also attack this bishop, but then this comes in and it's not that good anymore. I think let's just gain a tempo of some sorts. After this, I do have this move. This is obviously a pretty good move in response. So the two bishops are obviously the pain in this position, but sort of move like rook b3. This cannot be taken right now currently, I don't think. Oh, it can. Yeah. Now c2 is an issue. See, c3, bishop takes. Pin seems to work. I think I need to give up c3, I mean the c pawn somehow. Might as well have it on my own accord. I could also just triple up on the d file, but I don't want this to come. I don't want the queen to be able to get access to that. If the bishop doesn't take, then I might even think about playing move like this. Yeah, so he does do that. This is very tempting. Not sure if it's winning or not, but yeah, you should try it. You should try it out. Win, and let's see how he responds. I guess this sort of move is always possible, but takes. I'm on the rook. We capture rook and pawn against two bishops. Still hard to win. Yeah, I mean, right now it doesn't work because this falls with check. But yeah. Threat is obvious. Trying to take. Even if he takes this, then I have this in the end. That forks the king and the rook. But question is, what if you just play something normal like, I don't know, this? Then I might have to take, and then again I get the same position with two bishops against the rook, and I think the rook just loses by force. Yeah, that was what I was afraid of. And now, the problem is that the rook is defended. That's the only issue. If I do take this, then my queen falls. Everything falls. Yeah, it's a pity. This looks like it's winning, but it's really not, because both moves like this and moves like this, they both defend. But I guess it's the only way to get some initiative. I guess I could try to play. Nah, I think the rook just loses against this. Be lucky to get a draw. This is just easy. Yep. My king is so less on squares that it's really hard to make even a plan here. I step out and I'm gonna get forked or skewered or something. Oh, average EQ triangle, it's not classical because I find that Rapid is it's like sort of the middle ground to Classical and Blitz. The problem with Blitz is, of course, you don't have any time to think, you don't actually improve. And the problem with Classical is that it's too slow, and even I get too bored with playing it. Also, that there's a lot more engines I find in Classical time controls, which is very disheartening. But yeah, it happens. There's no proof as well. Like, you can't really prove that someone was using an engine in a Classical game. I used to play 30 plus 30, and all the time, like, number one stockfish move, number two stockfish move. It's just a blunder, but lost anyway. There's no way to proceed. I'm pretty much going to resign this game and try my luck. Yeah, again, why is he taking time for this? It should be an instinctive move. So yeah, that's the reason. That's why I'm more likely to play bids and classic and rapid. That to rapid, once you get above 2000, it makes more sense to play in the tournament, because that is slightly higher moderated for cheaters. They have multiple people can report them and they'll get banned. If you play in the ladder, then it's you need to get noticed. You need to get a moderator's attention, and then only then the game will be examined, and then they'll get banned. So yeah, tourneys are basically better controlled. Okay, d5, d4 opening. Let's break in the setup. So I could go for the semi-Slav with c6. Could also go with bishop e7, knight d7, b6, bishop e7. Admittedly, my d4 repertoire is very shaky. That's true, Anano Keiji. It's true. Yeah, it happens a lot. But that's also due to sandbagging. People they're actually high rated, but they make a new account. They lose a bunch of games on purpose, and then they just win these sub 2K tournaments or sub 1800 tournaments because they're actually very strong, but they're playing under a low rating, so they get matched up with slightly easier opponents. But to be sure, it's not such a problem on leeches as it is on chess.com. Chess.com is goes a lot more unnoticed. So yeah, just normal development. I'm just trying to get my pieces to good squares, not spend too much time on the opening. Yeah, so could take with the pawn and then push c5. Another alternative, I could take with the queen. This does invite this, just slightly annoying. So grab here. Yeah, exactly. I know. Yeah, that's the issue. So this is quite tempting, a5, but this is not a problem for now. But once you play c5, then this is definitely going to be a huge hole. Oh, one thing I could do is just pile up on this pawn immediately. I think I like that. Gain a tempo on the b pawn. Exactly. Yeah. That's very true. Also, in chess.com, another thing is in the beginning, the rating jump is very, very large. So if you lose a bunch of games when you make your account fresh, it just, like, for once, I know a guy who he lost like 15 games, the first 15 games on purpose, just to see how far he would drop, and he went all the way to like 400 or 500, and climbing up after that became a hassle. Like, it just didn't happen. He won like 20 games, because he's actually a good player. He won like 20-30 games, and still he was only at 1k or like 1.1k. The climbing is very slow, but the dropping is very fast, so that makes it very easy for like sandbaggers to just lose a bunch of games in the beginning of their new account, and they just won't gain it that fast. They'll stay in the lower brackets and keep winning. So okay, so I think I'm not going to push a5 because even though this pawn might eventually push there, the problem is I don't want to allow this knight to jump into b5. So c5 seems very logical here, breaking in the center, opening the c file. I should also probably push. Yeah, let's see what my opponent wants to do with this bishop. Okay, c5 it is. Not too concerned about taking with the queen here. Yeah, not that concerned. Just make sure there are no forks and everything should be fine. Okay, so he lines up his battery on the c file, makes sense. But I should probably get my queen away and try to gain a tempo as I do so. In which case, this is probably a very good move because as the bishop gets out of the way, there's no immediate knight move which causes me any pain. On the other hand, this is also a problem if I do that. Another problem is that due to this configuration of my queen and rook, playing bishop b7 would result in this after this exchange. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, chess.com is just, there's a lot of flaws. It's funny that Leeches is like not even paid and it's still better in every aspect. Like people go to chess.com because the best streamers, they're featured on the chess TV, so they get a lot of traction. But the real thing is that chess.com is just simply worse. It has less features for, they just take more money from you. Yeah, you are right. Yeah, they can see the engine eval just as even the game is progressing. Yeah. Leeches, you don't get that. You just get the analysis board. You can't really turn on Stockfish until the game's done. So yeah, little things. Just get out of the way. I was planning this, but this is just too much of a threat. That's a sneaky move against the bishop, but it doesn't really work unless they fall for it. This, however, does have some bonuses because if I play, yeah, no, right, it's covered. Is that? But yeah, I need to get rid of this knight somehow, some way or the other. If he takes the bishop, I'm overly happy. But yeah, I mean, this game, the knight, I just let the knight get too good. I should have something on the c file. I should have some pressure with my pieces if I can just untangle them. Okay, so stopping any thoughts of my knight ever jumping into g4 makes sense. I'm really tempted to for rook c7 because it gets my rook opposite the queen. Also, it gives me an opportunity to tuck my bishop back should the need arise. I'm not 100% sure that my bishop is worse than this knight because having the bishop pair does count for something. If it wasn't for the knight on e5, there would be quite a lot of ideas with landing the queen on the diagonal. Of course, not now. Now that the pawn's been pushed, but I don't see that pawn push as a good move. I see it as a liability. For example, now I could play this, almost play that, and hit both the pawn and both these pawns. The issue with that is obviously is that this pesky bishop could take away my knight at any time. Oh, but you know what? There might be a solution to that. If I play g5, sure, opens up my king. Granted. But yeah, I was thinking after the bishop moves, then I get this queen c5 in with a double attack on these two. But there's not much to be gained from that, because the bishop could go here and this pawn is not defended. Now this is a threat, definitely. Queen c5 is definitely a threat. If this exchange occurs, I'm only too happy to give it up. Right. Okay. So defending this point slightly more. Then again, this point is also available. I think that's a good move actually. How is he actually defending? b4? b4 rook takes. I think I'm fine. Yeah, I don't see how my opponent is winning here, because now my bishop really boxes out this knight. So I think I would do well to actually play queen c5 at this point. Hit the a5 pawn. Another point to note is that once I do get my queen to a5, it's more than likely that my opponent is gonna bring the rook over, in which case now this becomes a target and I can maybe infiltrate to the back rank. So yeah, I'm not gonna think too much, because again, time issues. Not worried about any knight moves, because I can take. My rooks defend each other. Not too sure how I would respond to trading my queen for both the rooks, because obviously it's supposed to be a +1 trade, but it's not that trivial when your king is not safe and there are a lot of minor pieces on the board. So my opponent burning his clock here. Finally goes for b4. Does rook takes actually work? Because I don't see any tactical issues with it. All my pieces are well defended. I think I'm actually going to just take it. I don't see any discoveries actually. Because at any rate, the point is, if even if he plays, okay, look, so let's say some sort of discovered attack like this. Oh, maybe I can't play this because my rook hangs. But then his rook hangs. That's queen's defending. Then I grab the knight. Oh, yeah, this is complicated. But suppose I do play. I think I really want to make this work. So if I play here, knight takes. I could actually take this here. I could take this piece, because the rook can't take the queen. It's pinned to the king. But after queen takes is the issue. Then I have to grab here, take the knight. then my rook falls. That's the issue. I see. I mean, I could retreat. There's no. I could count on this as a permanent weakness and just fall back. And this pawn is very likely to fall, to be honest, if I don't feel like going into all these complications, because this seems like it just gives white way too easy counterplay. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna back up for now because I don't have the time. Yeah, this doesn't work. I think I have enough pieces on it. 1 2 3 1 2. Yeah, okay, maybe I don't have enough, but maybe this falls in the end, possibly. Again, this queen can't go too far. She has a responsibility to the e3 pawn. Which is now taken away. The responsibility no longer exists. Now, on the other hand, this pawn is hanging. I don't see any tricks. And I'm also very low on time, so I should just take it. Take it and don't think too much. Push, I don't know, here. Makes more sense. Again, this bishop is a superstar because it's taking all these squares away from the knight. I'm gonna grab and I don't know, maybe grab this next. I don't know. Seems useful. Yeah, just block. I'm threatening to take now, so my opponent has to respond to this. And you know what, I'm not entirely sure the tactics work in my opponent's favor here, because this needs to be defended. After takes, then after the check, maybe I could trade on. Okay, I'm just gonna take. No time at all. I think I would like my rooks to stay as they are. I could maybe play this. Yeah, just place more fuel on the pin. Trade the rooks. Needed. Even bishop b5. Now this bishop can come out here. Very useful. This move and maybe some tricks like this, possibly. Yep, what I was thinking. Maybe I should take once and then do it. Yeah, I'm gonna take. No, I can't take that. Yeah. No, I can. No, I can't actually. Yeah, it's annoying. Slightly annoying. I was planning to take once and then play knight c3, but then after this, my rook is also hanging on c8. So yeah, 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Gotta pick up the pace a bit. Can't really talk too much here. I do have back rank issues. This is true. Oh, that was close. I'm really glad he took his queen away, otherwise, even if I had won his queen, I would have had a hard time winning the endgame after that. Now I think this is just mate. Yep. Alright, cool. That was very scary. That was very, very scary. If I just traded into the endgame, it would have probably been much harder to win it and impossible in 20 seconds. So in case, just in case this move was not played, this is made in 3, but yeah, this is what I was afraid of. But even if, you know, a passing move like this, even if I had won the queen, yeah, push. And now how do I win this in like literally 20 seconds? All I have to do is, okay, maybe not that move. Play here. Fine, maybe it's slightly easier, but again, 20 seconds, I don't think I would have got it. Yeah, that was fortunate. I'm just gonna pause it for now, take a quick 1 minute break, and I'll be right back. Okay. Okay, back now. Let's jump back in. Back again. Berserking is always very comfortable to see. Gives me more time to think about my moves. D5. Standard stuff. Okay. Interesting. That'll make sense. I suppose if I play bishop here, then this is going to be the response. Could I take with the pawn is a question. Pawn takes, queen takes. This is hanging, so I think I'm actually going to take the pawn. I don't see why I can't. Because in the case of this recapture, I do gain a tempo against b2. Now I think it's time to just break the pin. Yep, break the pin. Same thing. I still get a tempo on b2. I don't even mind if I don't recapture the pawn. It's just that it's not any disadvantage in development. That's the main thing. Yes, this is not too much of a threat because I have this. It's castle. Standard stuff. Do I not have this? Oh, okay, I suppose, yeah. After queen takes, this is still sufficiently defended. That's the point. Makes sense, makes sense. I think I've got to take pretty much because I don't want to give this bishop up. Um, then again, I'm not too sure if I was here. Let's take a second here. I could give up the bishop pair, and of course, take away the bishop pair from him as well. By bishop takes g5. I assume it would be knight takes, but queen takes is also viable. What I would really like is to play d5, place my bishop on e6, bring my knight to c6, and gain some space on the queen side. How does that line up with my plans? I think, okay, my opponent looks like he's about to just castle right now at this stage. So I think I'm gonna play knight c6 right now. Takes, I'm still defending my pawn. The thing is, at this point, this is also, yeah, that's why he stops that idea. Makes sense. Now I think I can actually just play d6, place my bishop here, and gain some tempi. I think I'm gonna have my opponent take me. I don't want the other way around. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep improving my pieces. So he keeps stalling here. I don't know why he's stalling. From taking my bishop. But yeah, I think now he might be forced to make a decision. But how about this move? Something to consider. 95 takes here. Nah, I mean, still not gaining much, but I would like to remove this bishop if possible. Taking now would be really bad because it gives him a ready-made attack. This seems pretty good. The queen's pretty, I mean, almost trapped, but the problem is that after this, then there is always this exchange, and queen gets out. Should I play h6? Now this is just giving my opponent a free attack along the king side. If I don't start to get my pieces to good squares. I assume he's going to capture the bishop now. Or there are some tricks with this, of course. Yeah, tricks. I can't play f5 because hangs, so g6 is necessary. And now my opponent will take this. That's very smart. Now my dark side bishop is missing in action. And I do have a lot of dark squared weaknesses. Slightly happier to see that move. His queen is suspiciously short on squares. Suspiciously short on squares. What about bishop f5 right now? I think I like that a lot. Queen is in, I mean, the bishop is in some trouble if that happens, yeah. Here, I'm not worried about anything like that. Yeah, I think this works out for me. Even if the bishop is given up, I still get two pieces for the rook, which is very good. Especially if those two pieces are the bishop pair, then that's a solid trade. Always will take that trade. Always should take that trade. That queen is ridiculously short on squares as well, so not sure I'm even losing anything here. And castle king, added bonus. Okay. So there's no way I could get a draw, I guess, if I wanted to. Also grab here. But I don't want to give it the bishop pair either. Thing is, if I play this, then my opponent, I mean, here, I guess, here. There's no lateral movement of the queen. He has to go back here. which I like a lot actually. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go back and repeat once. And in the event of, okay, I think the queen has to go back here, and then I'm just gonna play d5. Yeah, d5 seems very very forcing. Playing this is fine, I guess. One way to get out of it. But yeah, the queen is very short on squares. Very. Okay, now probably should move the rook. I've harassed the queen enough. Also, my time is approaching my opponents. But I do like this position. Seems like I have much more than I have got from this. Could try and trade. Could also try and just kick this queen out. She has no business being here. I think I like that as actually. Yeah, let's gun for this. This is not an issue because I do have some sort of Finkita structure in place. What is it? Or is it? I don't want to open up the H file. Interesting. Oh, maybe. Oh, hold on. If I played this, then here. Queen's trapped. No, queen's not trapped. Yeah, but if the bishop steps one step back, the queen is trapped. In any case, I need to cut the communication off of the queen from the king side. So this is definitely a step in the right direction. Maybe not the most accurate move, but step in the right direction for sure. Queen can't go. Okay, yeah, I guess I can't take the bishop right now. That would probably be bad. So just gonna keep my stuff one place. This is a loose piece. Loose piece is a drop off. I should keep that in mind. Not a threat. This queen is cut off, hopefully, from the king side. If this, then b5 actually traps the queen, so that's very favorable to me, which is why he doesn't go there. I could play b5 anyhow, but that would just push the queen to a square that it wants to go anyway. So I think maybe I should play here first. Take control of this. Yeah, I kind of like that idea, because my opponent is probably going to go queenside, and in any case, I don't need to worry about the queen attacking me since she's definitely cut off. Okay, I don't see where this queen is going, honestly. I have all the squares under my control. What might be a real problem is if for my opponent is if I start counter attacking right now. This is hit if I move the queen, so I can't do that immediately. I think I like to delegate my rook to that task. I also do want to maintain this pressure along this diagonal. This would also be a nice move if I could get it in. The first step is bishop f6 and get my rook nice view of this pawn. It's not opened yet, but there are some chances of prying open the center in the future. Again, castling is not an option, so maybe I could just turn the tables on my opponent and look to attack. Again, I don't see the purpose of this move. It was probably to restrict my knight from coming in here. I could probably push. This might be actually be the best move here. I have this diagonal under control. Both these actually. Knight here, yeah, certainly annoying. I just take it. But yeah. Yeah, I need to watch my time now, but the point is that I can now, I think, expand on the queen side if I want to, and I think I do want to. b4 is coming, and this is sort of weak. The rooks are disconnected. b4 is I think pretty much a big threat. Okay, so defending this, making this actually possible, but now I do have my rooks. I might even like this seems like the most straightforward way to play, or maybe even here. Rook here. I should watch my time. I could also push a5. You know what, that looks pretty good. I don't see my opponent castling at all. Castle, I'm just gonna play something like this, consolidate the pawn, and then push b4. Right. So now I think this just breaks everything open. Yeah. Rook is undefended. What are you gonna do about it? Can't I play this? Oh, I see. This pawn is hanging. That's a valid point. That's a valid point. Shame. Maybe I should just let it go. I think I'm just gonna let it go. Should I let it go? Yeah, I should have taken care of my weaknesses before opening it up, but I mean, I guess I have to let it go. And I think this is necessary to safeguard my pieces, get a tempo on the queen, and then I should be breaking through here. Time is now equal, which is not fun because he started with less time, and now I eventually used all my time. So let's play here. Oh, I think I have this now, don't I? Maybe not. Okay, bishop blocks. But I think now I have this move. Takes, and I'm pinning the queen. Did I have the move earlier? No, I had to give the check first. Yeah, the queen's hit. The queen goes too far. I can just play this, or even play this and get a new queen. I didn't see any attack here. My bishops are guarding my diagonals pretty well. Whoa, no, oh my god. I nearly pre-moved that. Okay. I don't see anything here. I can basically go here and get a new queen, yeah. This, the knight blocks, which I don't like, so yeah, I'm just gonna take and get a new queen. Yeah, let's get the queen. Two queens. Not bad. I'm just gonna take. Obviously, he's trying to flag me, so should look out for that. And try not to flag. Try not to lose as well. Let's go here. Oh my god. What a game. Two queens. And it had to come down to a time scramble. That's the problem with rapid games. It doesn't give you time to gently grind out the sweet victory. Oh, that was nerve-wracking, to be honest. The only thing that saved me was probably the fact that my opponent definitely found it harder to make moves than I did. It's obviously winning, but did I have a quick knockout here? Take. Guess not. But yeah, very hard, hard fought end game. Hard fought middle game, I mean. Okay, let's jump back in. 31 minutes, maybe one game, possibly two, to be counted in the tournament. Okay. Go e4. Sicilian. I think that's the first Sicilian. No, it's not actually. play this, and that's the third time I've seen it today. Hey, thanks for the follow. Wow versus life. Appreciate it. Okay, third time. That's a hat trick. This variation seems to be very popular for some reason. I would never play it myself. Gives white too much traction along the light squares. I have a couple of options here. Knight c3, d3. Let's keep developing. Okay, d4 seems like a pretty viable option, as it did in a previous game. Yeah, let's open it up. I don't really prefer closed positions that much. Removes my pawn duo. Sensible. Okay, so this is probably theory. I'm probably people are playing. It's probably a good strat. I don't know. Just never occurred to me to go that way. Again, I keep falling for this sort of trick. Should probably stop doing that. I want to do something with this knight here. I don't really like it in this sort of tension. Taking once is not really a good idea. I think I'm just gonna back my bishop up. How do we develop? Where do I want my pieces to be? I think I'd like my bishop to be supporting this knight. I'd like my rook on the d file. I'd like my queen somewhere around the king side. And I'd like my king safe. Might like to play f4 in the future. So I think all those moves start with king h1. Yeah, king h1, f4. Trying to create an attack out of nothing. Probably develop my bishop. I should play f4 first. Now I want to get my bishop out before I do anything. You know what, I'm going to play here just so that there's no, like, black doesn't even think about getting the queen along this diagonal. Now the queen is relegated to a slightly worse square, c7. Lot of possibilities, that is true, but I think I do have this break under control if the queen does go to c7. Also, the fact that my bishop is on e3 allows me to have these sort of ideas, which are very handy. If you can't get a good attack rolling on the king side, then it might all just come down to your queen side initiative. You know, have a backup plan. That's the message. Yeah, so usually I would play h3 to stop the knight from jumping in here, but that's not really necessary this time because this pawn hasn't pushed yet. This bishop is not exactly guarding the square. Yeah, as expected, queen c7. I could play this. So many options. I think I would actually like to play f4 right now. f4, e5. I would actually play knight f5. And my bishop is certainly pinning the f7 pawn. My knight is in a good square, eyeing g7. But f4 and this, actually, yeah, that's just looks absolutely winning because I get the space and I get all the breaks that I want. This is also slightly tempting. Maybe I should get my queen first before. Yeah, I think I want to get my queen on the king side first. No, but then these sorts of moves also will entertain some queen tension, which is an issue because I don't want to trade queens. I don't like trading queens. I'm going to block this first. Block this. Let's play something like this. Bring the rook to the d file and then push. I've never actually learned to actually play the position. I've always gone into trying to make the chessboard bend to my will. I don't like sitting around and waiting. It's very solid. Coming up. Maybe coming up. So he's putting some pressure on the c file, but there's no breaking it. I don't see. I guess this is the plan. But if he does play b5, then I'm going to play a3 and stop all counterplay. These pawn breaks are what slightly worry me at this stage. Can I play this right now? Takes. I would love that. Push on the other hand. After this, I think that also wins for me because I really want to play g4 right now. I seriously want to play g4, but there's no solid plan. I don't. Yeah, I'm just gonna get my rook here. So that in any case, if there's ever a pawn push on e5, then this becomes a target. As I said, backup plan. If the attack doesn't work, you need to have a backup plan. Otherwise, you just lose in the end game. As expected, I will play this. Do need to stop b4 from coming because my knight is quite well placed on c3, and even though my queen is defending my e4 pawn at this moment, I would actually like my queen to be on g3 instead of e3 instead of f3. So yeah, my next move is probably going to be f5 if I can get it in, because if my opponent does take, that leaves with an isolated pawn, and I'm pretty sure that's winning regardless of whether I get a successful attack or not. If I do play f5 and my opponent pushes, that will take slightly more rerouting, but I'm pretty sure I still have a stranglehold on d5 at that stage. Okay, so he pushes it himself. This is what I said, I'm not worried at all. I would go here. Seems like an amazing place for my knight to be. It's defended. If he takes here, this is a target, as mentioned. This is pretty sharp, but that loses immediately. Yeah, so my opponent needs to respond to the threat there. Yeah, so that's one way to respond to it. Push. This is maybe a liability, but once I take here, then it's well defended. Well defended would be an understatement. It's extremely solid. Question is, do I even have anything remaining of my attack now that my knight is gone? I do have the bishop pair. That is plus. I do have the bishop pair, and I do have a strong central control. So he lets it hang. Doesn't take wisely. Now the question is, this is obviously trying to be achieved. I have enough control over it. I don't need to worry about it right now. But if I play g4 at this stage, there's no stopping g5. And then I can jump my knight into d5 once this knight moves. Go for it. There's no light squared bishop to pin my queen to the king, so I'm fairly secure in that aspect. This loses the pawn. This is well under control for now. That was the purpose of rook d1, so that eventually when this file is opened up, I do get some control along it. Doing well on time for once. Fair enough. That's quite a good move, I think. If only my queen was on f2. That would be a nice move to get in. But she's not. So many tempting options here. So many. Most tempting is actually just push. Because I can tank this capture. It's not a tempo. I mean it's just a tempo. It doesn't lose anything on the queen side immediately. If I pushed, my opponent went back here, I don't know, somewhere. I think I'm actually doing very well, because at that stage I could yeah, I think I like it a lot. I'm just gonna push. I don't care about this. You know what, if he takes here, I might just grab here as an intermezzo, because should I? It's tough. It's a tough choice. I don't think the bishop is that important. It's very, like, I would like to prefer it. I would prefer to have it, obviously. Prefer to keep it, but this sort of thing doesn't work when this intermezzo is there. Or does it work? Actually, if I did play g6 and this capture happened, I could take once, because it's with check, and then recapture. That seems fairly straightforward. Okay. Yeah, this seems like it should just net me some material immediately, which it doesn't, but it feels like it. This looks absolutely amazing, to be honest. Oh my god. That's such a beautiful move. Knight d5, no checks. The queen needs to stay tethered to this, and I get this bishop move. Oh, that is so good. That's so good. Yeah, so I thought that might happen. But in this case, I think I'm actually just gonna... I mean, if this knight wasn't there... Oh, you know what? I'll just leave the bishop here. If he takes this, then I have this. Sweet tactic. I could play this as well. It's very tempting. I think that's just what I'm gonna... No, but if I do... Yeah, I think this just wins, yeah? Simple. Fork. Fork-Ruski. Try taking here. Then I grab here. Yeah, that makes more sense. Yeah, that's pretty good. Knight takes right here. Okay, that doesn't change anything. I could grab here and then grab the rook. I just grab the rook directly. I don't see why. I grab the rook directly. I think I'm just gonna do that. Yeah, I don't know, but this pawn is... Yeah, but he has to respond to this first. No intermezzos. Right. So now, this is a blunder, yeah? Out of 6, this is the game. Did I have to move earlier? I had a move earlier. Yeah, this was... Okay, still, exchange is an exchange. I think this move just wins the game because the queen is hanging. Bam. Bam. Hitting the rook. Okay, so he's gonna fight on. That's fine. I think I have sufficient material to win this position. Takes here, I'm gonna grab here first and then recapture. Yeah, so he doesn't do that. Now I think this rook is trapped, so win is slightly easier. Sorry, the knight is trapped by the rook. What I meant to say. Oof, crazy game. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure there was some danger associated with letting my king and queen be on the same diagonal, but since he didn't have a light squared bishop, it wasn't really that serious of a threat. This drops this, yeah. Yeah, check. Bishop here, rook dies, or the pawn dies, or the knight dies, something. Bishop, okay. Just need to focus on not getting back ranked at the stage. Okay. Guess go for stuff. I can even go for stuff like this. Yeah, this is over. I probably should have gone for it directly. Yeah, I'll get this check and it's fine. Check. And let's hit the rook. Make sure I don't drop my queen. Make sure. Trying to weave a mating net here. Something's got to be made. Something's got to give. Let's check. If it's check, then is that mate? Oh, come on. Oh, this is a free check. So close. Okay, I'm just gonna try. I'm gonna find the mate. I don't care. Is this it? I think that's it. Yeah, this and then this is mate. Okay, GG's. That was very aesthetic win. That was pretty good. Yeah, this tactic was there for a long time. With one move. But yeah. So it's actually best to take the exchange first. Who knew? Alright, fine. Let's get back. How much time is remaining in the arena? We get, yeah, okay, maybe we can get another game in. Okay. Let's try to make this a quick one. Opponent's on berserking. Okay. D4. Okay, so this is the first time I've seen this variation today. That's what I usually play, so yeah, let's break. I prefer open positions, if it wasn't clear. Okay, so this is heavy theory. Heavy theory. I've seen this position so many times. This is standard. Yeah, I'm fine with giving up the with a slightly compromised pawn structure. It's fine. If my opponent doesn't want it, I think I'm just better. Because again, backward pawn. As long as black doesn't get d5, I'm fine. Oh, maybe he can get it now. He doesn't want it now. It's cool. Castling, bishop g4 is an issue. Let's protect that first. Castle now. Bishop here followed by this is tempting. See, so my opponent just goes for this directly. I don't know why, because it seems like the pawn is going to fall. I mean, I don't see anything better. Maybe bishop here is somewhat good. Yeah, actually, maybe that's good. Bishop g5. No, but then there's no time because h6 and I don't get enough time to play this. Maybe I do get time to play it. Let's look at this for a second. Here, h6, knight here. He takes his pawn. I grab the bishop. I think I really like that trade. On the other hand, bishop g5, trade these. Do I like my position that much? No, I don't. No, I'm gonna take this and argue that this pawn is isolated and it's gonna die soon. Yeah. I can even go f4 at this stage. I can even go f4 and swing my pieces around and I think the pawn is pretty weak on d4. Not much can be done to support it. So it's not even being defended. Okay, I guess indirectly it's being defended. If I take, I don't like taking it all. I think I'm gonna push and then safeguard the pawn. I might even play f4. But if I push, let's see, push, where does the knight go? Knight would go to here, hit the pawn. I could play this, and is there any move that can stop me from capturing this next move? Yes, queen b6. Then again, I'm not really scared. I don't think my pawn is. If I take, that just neutralizes everything. I don't like that. I could probably take this and then win this somehow, but you know, let's just take, simplify stuff. I think I can grab here actually because of the tactic. Yeah, I guess I get it immediately, which is slightly better. I can play c3 even, so it's not that bad. I mean, I guess I'm just getting the pawn. I think my aim was to preserve my pawn on e5 and get both these pawns, but yeah, that was more enterprising. This is just like simply a pawn up. It's fine, nothing wrong with it, just less ambitious. That's all, the route I took. Yeah, so now the problem for my opponent is that my knight is rock solid on d4, and my queen is free to move. Next move, queen f4. Okay, hits the queen, no threats as usual. Queen f4 seems really accurate. Not accurate, but covering all my bases pretty well. Yeah, queen f4 seems pretty good. Go queen f4, hitting the knight twice. And I think I can count on the fact that my opponent's bishop is not developed as of yet. Okay, hitting my bishop. I think a silent retreat would just cause my opponent a lot of problems. Yeah, because now this is an issue potentially. If the queen moves, then I have this nice double attack. Suppose the queen goes, I don't know, it's not even a good place for the queen to go at this stage. But if the queen wasn't there, I meant I could go here and hit both h7 and the rook. Obviously my opponent wants to play this sort of move. Makes sense. So I should probably try to play active and get a tempo on the queen. I think this just if I play this and my opponent grabs the pawn, I think that's just asking for trouble. Knight c6 and knight e7, stuff like that. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna play rook here, and the thing with this is that of course there's this temporary thing over here, which I should not miss. That would be really bad. How do I even guess this is? But it's not convenient, but it does defend. So yeah, I was hoping to win a tempo there, but I guess with that move, my opponent ensured that they don't pay on time. But yeah, this seems really juicy. Yeah, now he takes the pawn, but still I think there's something to be said. There's got to be something in this position. It's got to be. See, queen h4 hitting h7. h6 I would love to see, because then I can just move knight f5 and completely obliterate the king side. But what about g6? g6, Do I still have knight f5? I think I do. I'm gonna play on gut feeling here. Or should I play on gut feeling? I'm down 3 minutes on the clock. Okay, I'll spend a minute thinking about it. Oh, you know what? What about just a simple queen c7? No, rook c8 is available. Yeah. Should I play queen h5 directly, or should I preface it with knight f5? That's the question. Uh, oh, you know what? Oh, it almost works. It's so sad. If I played b4 right now, kicking the knight moves to, I don't know. If it moves to a bad square like d7, then I have bishop b3, doubly attacking the queen and the king. And I think that's lights out. It should be lights out, hopefully. Probably not, but it's pretty decisive. The only issue is if the knight goes to e6, then I would have to give like take first and then play, which I don't like at all. I don't want to give up my knight, so I'm just gonna threaten mate for now. Spent enough time. Other variations don't work. Let's move on. g6 is forced, I'm pretty sure. What do I play after g6? Seems like it should be winning. I mean, yeah, actually I think I'm gonna play queen f6, and my opponent doesn't have an easy way to I'd like to make knight f5 work, but just knight f5 takes. How is h7 being defended? I don't think it is, but is that enough to win? If I leave the queen on her own too much, then that's the issue, is that she's just gonna escape. She's gonna come back to d5, and that's the end of my attack. That's the issue. You know what? I'm just gonna play it. To hell with it. If it's a sacrifice doesn't work, it doesn't work. But I'm pretty sure that h7 falls if the knight is taken. Yeah. So this first makes sense. I don't see anything better than just taking back. But now I'm also cutting the king off, so there are pros and cons to this. I don't think the knight can be taken. Hopefully it can't be taken, otherwise. Oh, right now I'm threatening mate actually. That's a nice surprise. Takes is mate because my knight's covering the square. But my opponent might be forced to take actually. Oh, hold on. If takes, then don't I have this? Check. Takes. King here. Queen back. What a time. Okay, this is really close. Yeah, so it takes, please tell me this is mate. Oh, it's mate. Thank God it's mate. Oh, okay, fine. Oh my God. That was so close. That was so close. I was about to lose on time there. Oh man, that was nerve-wracking. Okay, cool. I'll take that. That was a pretty clean tournament score. Yeah, that was pretty clean. I'll probably continue with another one. Let's see. Arena tournaments. Yeah, so it starts in a while. 2 minutes. Yeah. Okay, so I'll be back in about 3 or something, 3-4 minutes. So yeah, thanks for watching. We're back, guys. Hopefully we can get a better rank this time. The reason this is sort of a longer series than ladder videos is because it's not that easy to get rating in a tournament, because most of the time you're paired up with people who are lower rated than you, so you don't get that much rating increase. Okay, this is a beast. Okay, c4. Let's play c5. Maybe it could transpose into some sort of a Sicilian. So this is a possible move. I would like my bishop to be in this, on the square, f5. Right here, push. Yeah, let's go with that. Okay, so playing the copycat game so far. Not too worried about this pressure, because I intend to counteract it with my own. The only question is whether I should do it now or after there's some sort of additional break in the center. Yeah, I think I'll do it now. Let's go for it. C6 is tempting, so is d6. This is also a good move to develop. I think I like e6 slightly better, because I do intend to get this push in eventually with the support of my bishop, my pawn, and of course my queen or my rook, or whichever heavy piece is on the file. Right, so this is slightly tamer, but it also does open the eyes of my bishop, so I'm going to go with that. The reason for that is because if my opponent does play d4 right now, then my bishop is already on the pawn, so I don't need to invest some more moves into that. So my first instinct is to take on d4. Does make sense, breaking up the pawn duo that white has. The issue with that is, let's say take, I'm pretty much forced to play d5 at that position, because I don't think I can let this pawn stay here, because the alternative is pushing this and then I get absolutely crushed on space. The only reasonable move is actually this d5, in which case after takes, not only am I vulnerable to queen checks, I think I'm also ending up with an isolated pawn. After all these pieces take, there's an isolated pawn on d5, which is very hard to defend, especially when your opponent is close to 2000, close to 2200. I think taking is the correct first course of action, but after this it depends on how he recaptures. Yeah, that's what I expected. This is logical, and I think it's the best move as well, because I need to stop this. I need to stop white from playing d5 himself. So this makes the most sense to play. So I can't. Well, I could take that way. I don't want an isolated pawn though. I think I'm just going to take with the knight. And on knight takes, I'm not going to recapture. I'm not going to capture on c3 because that would fix his pawn structure. Right now he has the isolated pawn, so that's a disadvantage for him. I don't see how he's playing d5 anytime in the future. My knight is firmly blockaded on that square. And now, yeah, so at this point I could basically develop my queen because he gives me an ample opportunity to do so. This would be bad. f6, and so I would drop e6 with the rook. Something that can be done. Queen c7, but then this sort of tempo attack comes in. Same issue with queen d7. Open stuff up, which I don't like. So I think I'm just going to defend this way, and that does two things. Opens up my bishop size. It also opens me up to checks. I didn't notice that. Hopefully that's not an issue. Yeah, I can just block with the bishop. Everything should be fine. The thing is, if bishop takes here, then the point is that I can recapture with the queen. Yep, as expected. I can recapture with the queen, and my bishop is still defending my knight, so it's not an issue. Of course, this, I don't know, it's a simple exchange, and I think I win the exchange because after takes, then my rook is still defending the knight, so barely hanging on. Of course, white has the initiative because of this free position. Might actually be considering taking on c6. Makes sense. But I do have my own pressure on d4 at the end of it. Okay, so he decides not to do that. Now this might be a threat. Or is it? Maybe this does have some merits to it. I think the idea that my opponent has is this. Take on e7. And I can't recapture with the queen. I must recapture with the knight. I don't like too much. I'm just going to defend my bishop. I don't see any knockout blows from my opponent right here. Seems very solid, to be honest. This I still probably have to take with the knight because if I did take with the queen, then there would be knight takes, and after bishop takes, then well, actually no, that doesn't work because my queen does shield my king from the pin. So yeah, maybe I could take with the queen also. It's an interesting issue. Okay, so things are heating up now a lot. My first instinct is to just get rid of this beast on e5. That looks like it solves all my problems, except that I'll have a lot of dark squared weaknesses. My second instinct is to bring my bishop back. That hits the queen. The only problem with that is now this check can be repeated, and I have no good defense. This pressure is too much. So I think I do need to make some sort of concession to get rid of this pesky knight, pesky pin. Very annoying. I could also play here. I like that actually. That seems sort of better. But the issue with that is if I play bishop d7, takes, and am I losing anything? I don't think so. The queen has to move, and then I think I'm fine. But my issue is after here, just move the queen, and all of a sudden there is this capture that's threatened. Still, I think I like that a bit better. Just need to get my pieces out of the way, get castled, and then I can think of taking advantage of this pawn. The problem with this is that it's way too weakening. It gets rid of the knight immediately. It solves the immediate problem, but eventually my opponent is going to play this and cement the bishop there, and that's going to be near to impossible to get rid of. Practically impossible to get rid of. So at the very least, now I'm hitting the queen. My opponent is relentless with these. I could castle, but yeah, that loses this, I think. Yeah, my opponent is really not having any of it. Could grab here, but do I really have to play f6 at this point? I think f6 might be the only correct move at this point, actually. It's a shame, but f6 and takes. I'm still holding on to this pawn. It seems like I should be losing, but it's barely not. Barely not. Barely. Everything is hanging by a thread in this position. Everything. But I think f6 was right at this point, because this is there's no longer any pressure. Because my bishop also has it defended. So yeah, it takes. Probably the right decision. Oh wait, could I actually capture here? No, it goes back here. That's too dangerous. Now the bishop has to move. My pawn is defended. I could castle next, I think. And now I just have to worry about this pawn. So the immediate danger is gone. But of course, the long-term danger of goes for this one. Another decision is available to be made. Do I capture this? That seems like it just absolutely ruins my pawn structure, so let's not do that. This seems like I'm wriggling out some sort of. Yeah. So do I capture here or do I capture this? Which bishop should be taken? Oh, oh my god. I think I have to. Oh, this just loses by force. I didn't notice my rook is hanging. Down a piece. Oof. That is harsh. That is super harsh. Can't even be defended. Yeah, it's a shame. Fine, I guess. Take the rook. Just wins. Now the bishop moves and I'm down a clean rook. It's harsh. Yeah, I just didn't see my way out of the complications quick enough. Do I have a chance? Any sort of chance? Or should I just give it up and go for the new game? It's gonna fall. Yeah, this just crushes. Well, not immediately, but it does crush. I guess. I mean, there's really nothing that can be done at this stage. Pretty sad. I'm gonna look at that game later. Pretty sure I could have defended slightly better. Yep. Now in this passive position, it's pretty impossible. You can get some counterplay. That's made. Let's not do that. Everything's made. Yeah, no point. Just give it up and jump back in. I should have analyzed that. Oh, whoops. Where am I? Okay. No time to take out all the variations. Oh, whoops. Okay. Let's go with e4. Okay. I guess. Take those. 2036. As I said, it's not that easy to climb from tournament matches. I'm not too sure whether I should switch to ladder. Because the rating is definitely easy to climb there, but playing a tournament has its advantages. You learn not to underestimate anybody just because of the rating, and also not to overestimate anybody. e4 again. Okay. e5. It's actually pretty comfortable playing against this. Could go for bishop c4. I could also go for d4. Collect d4. Open it up. Yeah, so this sort of system, I don't like playing it myself too much because I do get some sort of tempo with f4. That could be premature in this case, of course. I think I'm going to go for it. Go for f4 because there's no immediate threats. I get a tempo on the knight. This is not a threat. Next move I get this and I can just castle. This check is something to worry about though. Wouldn't usually be an issue if my knight was on f3. Maybe I should move it back to f3. Yeah, let's move it back. I don't really want to. I don't really want to allow my opponent to force me to play g3. Right, makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. Let's develop. I might even go queenside this match because I have my pawns pushed on the king side. It actually might make more sense for me to go queenside and launch an attack. Makes a lot of sense actually. Yep. The pin has to be broken right now anyway, so either takes or go back to d7 or c8, both of which are very sad squares. Now I can play this, get my bishop on this nice diagonal. Okay, so here's the first, well, not a threat but sort of semi-threat. Now I would really like to play. My opponent is probably gonna go and castle kingside. F5 is not doesn't seem like a good option. What does seem like a good option is g4. I think I can delay it for a move though. There's no immediate rush to do it. Just gonna get my queen out of the way and castle queenside. This also puts some pressure on this diagonal. Now I think g4 is very tempting. So is h4. Yeah, h4 is also, but then h5 comes and suddenly not clear. I should probably look to trade this at some point. This is tempting, but then in the case of bishop b6, I take, and then my a file is opened up. Not too sure I want that, so I'm just gonna castle and wait for a second. Cutting this. Let's expand ourselves. Now I like keeping my bishop here on this diagonal. I think this is being dropped. Or is it? Not really. I could go back here though. The issue with this is that after takes, first of all, this is slightly uncomfortable. The other issue with this is that I mean, this also is hanging at the same time, so I should probably play something like this. Yeah, I think my opponent's attack is just coming before mine, which seems ridiculous because my pawns are I have 3 pawns and they're all quite advanced. But I think the differentiating issue is that black's pieces are around the king. That's the difference. My bishop is also almost trapped, so I should probably do something about it. Okay, I mean, something's got to give. I'll probably have to give up e4, but then at least this bishop won't be there. Okay, directly for this, I don't know about that, because now can't I play this? Safeguard my knight with the bishop. This I'm not afraid of at all. This I'm not afraid at all. Maybe I'm not actually losing anything. Okay, putting some pressure again. But now can I actually defend this point? Fortunately not. Maybe I can. No, I can't. This seems interesting, but after this I'm pretty sure it's just bad. Maybe not. Yeah, I think this might be best actually. Push. I'm actually happy my king is on C, on the C file for once. Okay, now it's just a matter of playing actively and not letting my opponent get any counterplay. So this is one important step towards it. Hitting f7 and also defending e4 at the same time. It's fancy, but it doesn't work, yeah. Saying take with the knight, recapture, and I'm forking stuff. Unless, of course, this is the intention, in which case I just win a piece. There are no checks. I hope there are no good sacrifices. I have ender positions. If I can survive this attack, then I'm pretty much good for the game. Okay, but this intermezzo doesn't work, I think, because you have to take this with check, then grab this, then grab the whatever, and this is just opening my opening the f file, so I'm very happy for this. Yeah, let's take. This is definitely the first step. Now the question is whether I take with the knight or whether I take with something else, the bishop in this case. I think it's more about the follow-up. How would I follow up this move? I think I like this better because it actually threatens this as well. But this also has an advantage of getting the exchange right away. Then again, I'm not sure I want to give up my bishop for the exchange at this stage. Yeah, I don't want to. My bishop is much better than the rook at this stage, especially better than this rook. And if I do take, then this one does spring into action. Yeah, now that move has to be played, and now just some way to break open like this, and they should be falling pretty soon. I have time though. There's no need to hurry it. Where's the quick win? No quick win. Yeah, h6 is falling. This is definitely an issue for my opponent. h6 is falling, and then I can pretty much relax and think about my next move. Yeah. So I think what needs to be done, if I take this, I actually have time now to think, which is nice. Moves here, no immediate checks. This is there, but it's not that good. If I play it, knight takes, bishop falls. Oh, but there's no defense, yeah, after that. Let's see, knight takes, bishop, queen takes, and then I'm threatening to go on f7, maybe something like here. But I'm on the bishop as well. I think that's much better. Yeah. I don't think my opponent can take this without giving my queen access to his kingside. And if this isn't played, then I'm just going to play g5 and crack it open. Just crack open the kingside. It's going to come open by force, and my rooks are just going to have a party. Pushes here. Nothing to worry about. I'm pretty sure I could just play g3. To be a b3, sorry. Taking would be mate, I think. So yeah, just push. Keep it simple. g5 is definitely on the cards. Oh, another thing that if this bishop is taken here, then once my bishop moves, this is also hit, which is a nice detail. Okay. Seems to be defending everything for the moment, but as I said, g5 is coming, and g5 cannot be stopped. Maybe now my opponent tends to take. Still though, g5, and it's a game over. Yeah, it comes, takes, and suddenly this is hanging. If the knight takes, I could even take this in intermezzo. Okay, I think maybe this sort of thing is the motive, but I just want to crack open the whole position here. Crack it open. King takes. Now if there's not a mate in one here, I'll be very surprised. I mean, if there's not a forced mate, I'll be very surprised. I need to stop the king from going back here, so I think this fits perfectly. This maybe, or that. Okay, where's the mate? This just wins, I guess. He moves. Yep. That's clean. It's very clean. Mm-hmm. I feel like there's mate here somewhere. Probably not though. But I have the time, so might as well try to figure it out. My knight covers these two squares. This is covered. This needs to be covered. Could I just play h4? h4, king here is just asking for mate. But you know what? The more pieces you have, the more likely you are to mate. So let's just have this. Make sure I'm not getting mated, and think about it on the next move. Right? Threatening the bishop as well as this. King here is game over. Even if I don't mate immediately. Okay, some sort of desperate move here, but I don't think it works. Just simply too much material. There's no mate, it's just hiding. It's literally hiding. Yeah, okay. I've had my fun. Time's up. Just gotta mate him somehow. Keep chasing around the king until something happens. I think bishop has to take, and now there's no more issues. No checks for my opponent, and okay, there's one check, but it doesn't matter. So one check, king b1, and that's game. Okay, come on. There's gotta be a mate here for sure. Now I have to be careful because if I don't mate, then this is gonna be painful for me. I don't think I'm getting mated, but you never know. I'm just gonna, you know what, at this stage I'm just gonna trade the queens. I don't have faith in myself to find the mate in 30 seconds, so I'm just gonna trade the queens and try to win after this. Check. Take this, then I'm just gonna roll a, what is it called? Rook roller? The rook roller. Go light square, because this is a dark square bishop. Something like that. Okay, let's go here. Just to stop the rook from having access to my f5. This is one plan. How is it defended? I'm not too sure. Oh, that's how. Okay, I'm just gonna take the rook. Yep, everything's on light squares, so there's nothing to worry about. That would be stalemate. Let's not do that. Okay, cool. Somehow I keep getting these mates with 3 seconds or 2 seconds on the clock. I would really panicked if it got to 1. But yeah, okay, let's go. That was much closer than it had to be. Just could not find the mate. I'm pretty sure Stockfish will find like a mate in 2, about like a 5 missed mate in 2s. Okay, d4. Guess here. Yep, I don't mind this. Look at the bishop. It's fine. This is coming. I like my position after that. Now I think I'm also getting this pawn. I could also take this directly, which does appeal. With this check, now the king has to move or the knight has to block. If the knight blocks, I get this pawn. If the king moves, I get this pawn. Knight moves, I get this pawn. Bishop block. I think I'm absolutely fine there. Yeah, bishop block I can, yeah. It's not winning directly, but sufficiently close. What is that? Okay, I guess this is the plan, but doesn't that still lose the pawn? Stakes. There's no chicken knight fork. Okay, let's grab this. Just need to be careful that this check doesn't work either. Okay, I don't need this pawn at this stage. Just gonna push. Okay, I'm playing too fast. I need to slow down for sure. I have enough material, and now it's time to slow down and just think about the position. I need to be really careful here. Still, this check is not there. I can castle, and then everything's fine. Just need to make sure I can castle. Yeah, so now I'm gonna, yeah, I need to get my king out of the way. And now I think my problems are like far away. Knight, pawn, bishop. What's my plan? Okay, so that's a little prophylaxis. I think my queen would be better suited on this square. I am controlling the squares of my opponent right now pretty well, so I think I'll go for this first, just to get my knight out. Just need to make sure there's no stuff like this that's going on. There's also this sort of decoy, but I think my queen can come back. Okay, I'm just gonna play here because I just want to get out of the rook's way. And it allows this sort of move and this sort of move, and I can also play b6 and get my bishop on this nice diagonal. this. Not too sure what my opponent has in mind here. Just gonna get my bishop here, and then once I play this, all sorts of threats arise. Right, makes sense. This pawn is falling, but that's fine. It's an unavoidable thing. Okay, so now the thing is, I could exchange the. Yeah, I'm just gonna exchange this. Yeah, exchange the bishops. I need to make sure my king is safe, and then I can relax. Actually, it might be quite dangerous for my king. Hmm. Yeah, this is slightly annoying. I think I'm gonna play here. No, I can't do that. I would lose immediately. So play here. My queen has no shelter. That's the issue. What if here? No, I don't like that too much. Might have messed this up a bit, just a bit. I think what I need to do at this stage, because my opponent is going to get a lot of tempi on me, on my queen. This is really unpleasant. Do I have to play queen here? It's so sad. Oh, I don't like that at all. Here, and there's even stuff like this. Suddenly the activity is too much. If only these bishops were traded, I'll be fine. But they're not. Oh, I could play this. Threaten the queen trade. Oh, but then this sort of move is always there. Then I guess I'll just have to play g6 and go with it. That might be actually my best hope. My only hope. Just get the damn queens off. Might actually take up this rook just to give my king some sort of flight square. Expected, and now I have to push, otherwise I'm just losing. And now it's sort of consolidatable, because it'll take a couple of moves to arrange the forces like this, and yeah. Okay, so very wisely my opponent declines the trade. So the game is still not over. In that case, that's a possible idea. I need to try and get some trades in. Anything. Even that. This is also tempting, just to get my queen here. Yeah, I just need more activity for my pieces at this point. The queen's hit, so this is temporarily not there, and once the queen moves somewhere around here, I'm gonna play queen f6 and then just hope my queen can hold my king side together. Following will be rook to d8, and hopefully I can end this game. Now, if this is played, queen takes, I am very happy to trade the queens. I'm up a piece. I don't care if I lose a pawn. It's absolutely okay with me. This got way more complicated than it had to be. Yeah, I'm absolutely fine. Trade the queens. I'm golden. In fact, we'll even trade more than the queens, because if queen takes, rook takes, then I could just literally play my rook here, and you can't avoid the trade because you're going to get mate on e1. So ensuring more than that. Yeah. Okay, so it decides to not go for it. Makes sense. This sort of thing is gonna happen, I guess. I don't know. This actually is pretty good. If the bishop goes here, I might just play this and seal everything. But for now, I'm just gonna pile up on this pawn. I'm still absolutely fine with giving up this thing. No issues at all. Now I can play this. Now it's sort of coming together. Bishop is in a great place. This move I'm not worried about at all. I've blunted this file. Okay. Looking for tricks here. Just fine. I'm just gonna take the pawn, I think. Yeah, grab the pawn, double my rooks. My queen's defend this place. There's no piling up on it. No funny business. Just gonna play my rook to c8 and then try to get the rooks off. At that point, it should be clean. Okay. Looking for some sort of tricks, I guess. I'm not sure exactly if there are any. The queen is not having any access to the square. At most, some sacrifices, but this move is not on the cards, so I don't have anything to worry about. Tender point, but yeah, it works. The queen has no entry points, so no mating attacks. If this bishop gets annoying, and it looks like I might lose this, bam, just take it out and then trade everything down to the last piece, and I'll have a piece against, well, a piece and 2 pawns. Actually, it might be even simpler. Just take this and then play this. Game over. G2 falls, and so does the white position. Okay, trying for this sort of stuff. I see. Does make sense, but unfortunately, I think this just. I could even play this directly. There's no way to stop it. Do I have an answer though after this? Yeah, I guess I could just play this. Yeah, that looks pretty clean. If queen here, which I think is the last ditch attempt, just bring the queen back to g7 and defend h7. That's all it's needed. And this move, just take here, and this is falling. Take with the bishop so that my rooks still defend each other. And I'm thinking I'm just gonna grab the rook. I don't see any checks, any good checks. This is the only good check, but my just gonna exchange the queens, and that's game over. This is gonna be mate. If the queens don't come off, that's gonna be mate. Probably the best try is this, but yeah, that's pretty much game over. Okay, but this doesn't win. Right, cool. Yeah, that was definitely more complicated than it had to be. I've got to go, so I'm gonna leave it at that today. Thank you for watching. Thank you for all the follows. I appreciate it. And I will see you in the next stream. Goodbye.